Hi guys, welcome to Citizen Tarot. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna start us out with a little tarot read for the collective on what this Chiron conjunct Venus and Jupiter is gonna look like during the full moon that's coming up on Tuesday, which is in Virgo, on the Virgo Pisces axis. So I'm gonna do this for the collective, and then I'm gonna go through for each sign and do a little tarot read. There are a bunch of videos about what it means for each sign. I can go through and talk about what it might mean for each sign while I do my tarot read, give you a general overall theme, at least astrologically. And then, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. I got this book out. I've used this before in some of my videos. I'm going to keep using it. This is Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. And I think that it's really, really fitting for this transit in general because Chiron is involved and it's touching Jupiter. So Chiron, for the people who don't know, it's kind of funny to always hear this on repeat, but the wounded healer is what Chiron is. It's the thing in life that hurts you that seems to be like a repetitive, what the heck? Why does this keep happening to me kind of wound. It hurts. It's a wound that hurts. Maybe it's a theme in your life, right? But it's also the thing that you go out and help the world and help other people heal through because you've dealt with it. You know how to. That's the story of Chiron, basically, in a nutshell. The mythology of this god who gets struck by an arrow, hurts in a cave, and is sad for a long, long time, like millennia, and then someone walks by his cave with the same injury, and he's pulls it out, figures out how to get himself to do that and heals himself, is able to go and help that other person with their injury because it's also the thing that motivates you, I guess, in a way, to keep going. What? Why didn't that? I mean, that makes so much sense. Why wasn't that a thing in my brain before? Personally, my Chiron is in the 7th house and in Virgo, actually. So I think that I tend to experience a lot of psychosomatic illness, actually, through stress that is caused through painful relationships, which I can't figure out why is such a thing in my life other than through astrology. I think I'm going to do some videos too at some point about why I think astrology is such a really great tool for introspection and self-therapy, which is something I think we're all going to have to get really, really good at in order to save ourselves, save the world, We got to save ourselves individually, and that would mean that everyone would have to have some level of emotional intelligence and self-therapy and therapy ability to help one another, because there's a lot of healing to do, and I think that that's gonna be that we heal the planet. Anyway, without further ado, I'm just gonna flip open to a general message for from this book, Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die, for this Chiron Jupiter Venus transit. It's to finish on that, with Jupiter being in the mix, Chiron being the wounded healer, Jupiter's the jovial Santa Claus of planets, but kind of expands anything it touches, even if it's not pleasant. So Jupiter's really bringing to light at this full moon, during this full moon energy of this is the hidden, the unconscious coming up, and here's Jupiter expanding it in a way where it becomes really obvious, and there might be a lot of upset, and you could have conflict, right? Interpersonally, on an emotional level. The kind of feeling we're getting here is a sort of pressure buildup, and it's something's ready to burst within us, right? All of us individually and collectively on some level, right? And that's the idea. And then you have Venus in there in the mix. And so Venus, being the planet of love and money and really just appreciation and beauty of things, it's really kind of tender, right? It's the part of us that wants to love, that perhaps is experiencing pain, And that can manifest in a bunch of different ways, right? Like anger is love that has been repressed or love that has been mistreated. It's anger is saying, I deserve better. I think I deserve better. And it's coming to correct that. You know, it's on the same spectrum of love itself. And so is, you know, obviously heartbreak and sadness, but I don't know, there could be a lot of positive things that come with this too. Like maybe it's a healing thing that happens in someone's life that's really healing for their Chiron type theme, and themes around like that Venus being in whatever sign it's in. Okay, I'm gonna do this now. Flip open. What is it? Can you give us an overall theme for Chiron, Jupiter, and Venus conjunction during this full moon in the same house as the sun in this full moon? Let's do it. Okay. So the first thing that I'm seeing is this little bit on arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Body is receiving conflicting messages, like laughing on the outside, but crying on the inside. Feels totally helpless in an ability to change one's life burden, to change life's burdens. That's perfect for the collective, right? And the body is receiving conflicting messages. You can also think about, you can think about this on an individual level, of course, right? But you can also apply this to the collective, and I think that this is what's happening on the collective. Body is receiving conflicting messages. I don't know, I can't talk or read today, but body being the whole, right? We talk about the body of blank. This is the body of us, the body of the world, right? Also is receiving conflicting messages, like laughing on the outside with all this, I don't know, there's like plenty of entertainment to try to distract us, which is not a bad thing. From the pain and suffering in the world, there must always be music, there must always be laughter, but we're experiencing all this and trying to not be as in our emotions as we could be with really, really difficult, hard life, like things on a world scale, right? There's still wars happening and the devastation of earthquakes and just injustices all over, and we see it. We're more connected than ever. We're not evolved to handle the kind of knowing about the world the way that we know about it right now. we aren't, and we're trying to deal with that on an individual level with all these world level hardships on an individual level, when it's really something that the entire world and the collective is supposed to deal with together, and is, even though maybe we aren't talking about it collectively in the same, probably on the level that we need to in order to heal it. There might be some events that come out of this transit, like out during this transit, right, that cause us to start having more of those conversations and to thinking together as this collective mind, which needs to happen in order for us to heal. But there's a pressure bubbling up. It's because of these conflicting messages we're seeing, like laughing on the outside but crying on the inside. That's like a billion memes that you've seen before, right? It feels totally helpless in ability to change one's life burdens. That's a real collective vibe right there. The other thing that I saw, I'm going to read right now, is anxiety. It's just on the other page. Feels unable to call the shots in life. Feels boxed in. Feels helpless to affect change. And honestly, this transit might really, really bring that up. Again, with that Jupiter bringing out the difficulties of the Chiron wound. In there in the mix with Venus, which just wants to love others, love the self, find the beauty in the world. We're really going to see probably, potentially, some difficult things highlighted that will help us to see the love and the beauty in the world better through a little turbulence, perhaps. Maybe it's something really fortunate, but it seems there's some what's it called? Uranian action in there too, which is a really really kind of like jolting, jarring, sudden, abrupt change sort of energy. We had Uranus involved last full moon, which is when we saw the quake. I don't know much about all of that, and it's not supposed to be predictive like that. But the thing with astrology that anyone who's gotten into astrology very much knows is that it's not here to say this is what's going to happen. It's just noticing throughout history. This is like the longest ongoing group project in the course of human history. And since, people have even been a thing, they've been watching the stars and noticing patterns. And there are certain patterns associated with different planets, especially when they get together and do certain things. Uranus, a lot of the time, is present in some of the transits we see when earthquakes or really like jarring events happen, which is why it has that reputation and archetype in the first place. Yeah, so I'm just going to get into this now. Let's get into a collective read for this Jupiter, Chiron, and Venus conjunction. In there with the mix is Uranus, and the Sun and the Moon, full moon on the Virgo Pisces axis, which, by the way, that axis is probably important to talk about also. With the Sun being in Pisces, it's a very, very kind of like ethereal, sort of spiritual, kind of light, airy, fluffy, but also dreamlike energy. It's spirituality, right? The hidden also. Pisces is responsible for the hidden and unknown. So that could be like, we could see things come to light that are, oh, interesting. Let me think about this. So that's Pisces. Virgo is where the moon will be. Virgo is the sign that's like, it's an earth sign, and it's all about like our daily routines and being structured in a way that, like Virgo is known as like the get it done kind of really organized, structured sign. It's the sign of health and like wellness, right? It's it can be pretty obsessive or it's about health and taking care of oneself. So if the Sun is in Pisces, Moon is in Virgo, then the Sun, which is the hidden and the unknown, coming to light, is shining its light on things having to do with health, right? Maybe that can be translated for the collective. That could mean like, that could have to do with themes of like, world health, as far as like maybe medications or breakthroughs, or like maybe even the coming to light of, there's news recently about COVID having been leaked through a lab. I don't know about the validity of any of that, and it's really difficult to see the truth from the untruth these days, but I think all of it's worth considering. Of course, there's only one way to figure out what truth is. You have to really be willing to learn and consider, weigh things out, but it could have to do with things having to do with world health in that regard, like our physical bodies as individuals, but as a collective. It could have to do with institutions having to do that. We could see things with like secrets coming out from medication companies or old studies that would have been done and like kind of kept secret about certain things. We could learn about the health of maybe world leaders in that regard, but that maybe have been kept secret potentially. I don't know. I'm just kind of spewing out ideas as far as this goes. I'm not a professional astrologer. I'm just really, really into it, and I've learned a lot about it. But like, also, honestly, that's kind of the theme that I'm seeing. And it could be health in that way. You could also, yes, I think this has a lot to do too with recognizing we're going to focus more and more on the mental health of the world, and we have to. I think I started this video out with that. I mean, the book that we just read from, Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, they just, the energy goes somewhere else and it affects something else in a physical way until it's taken care of. That's the whole concept behind that. Psychosomatic illness, right? Well, this could be about world psychosomatic illness. Why, I had this dream the other day that was like, really so symbolic. It was really, really cool. But in the dream, I like saw this old friend and mentor that I haven't seen in a long time, but like really helped shape me as I am now. They were a teacher of mine. And in the dream, I was shown this little river, and someone was like, oh yeah, this person like restored this river. And this river was like totally representative of, it was so obvious when I woke up and I was like thinking about it. I don't usually have vivid dreams like this, but the river was representative of it's, in general, water is associated with emotion, and a river is a free-flowing energy. It is unblocked. It is healthy. It's like how your emotions flow, they're allowed to flow. And this person had restored this river in my dream, my river, and it made so much sense. I looked into the water and it was just totally crystal clear. I'm like, of course she did, right? She helped me to, this person really did help me to to clear out my polluted rivers of sorts of emotionally, right? They helped guide me, were such a mentor in helping me to restore health to my emotional flow, my ability to tap into the flow of my of this emotional river and my emotional resources, which is so essential, because what happens what is the resource of water? It's invaluable. It goes on to water and sustain all life on the planet, right? And so the flow of that is so important in the metaphorical sense, individually, but also collectively, for sure. And I think that what we're seeing with the trash in our waterways and oceans, the polluting of the planet in general, is so very such a physical manifestation of a mental illness, a mental block when it comes to emotional intelligence, and understanding that healing collectively on an emotional level and understanding one another, seeing the connectedness of everything enough to be like, oh, you are me too, and that means I have to take care of you, and that means we need to take care of us, and that means I have to take care of me so I can do that. That's emotional, right? Cleaning the polluted emotional waterways of the world, which will go on to help us depollute more. Really, really into that. That's kind of what I've been about recently, and with part of why I'm so into tarot is I love tapping into this collective mind, collective conscious, this whole concept, because I think it's really going to be essential for our next steps as a species, the evolution in our species, right? It'll really determine whether or not we evolve or devolve, blow ourselves up before we get the chance to do either. So I think I think it's essential, and I think that it's the collective is thinking about it. I don't think that I just think these things, right? I see these themes happening out in the world. It's happening in the astrology. It's so cool to follow world events with astrology, because there sure is a pattern. It is really wild, and I also hope to one day, I would love to be involved in studying these things on a collective level, studying the things of a spiritual, or what we would call a spiritual nature, because science has separated itself from it for so long. And it makes sense, because science was kept under by religious or spiritual kind of things for so long, that of course it would have an aversion for a while. But I think it's starting to come around in this age of Aquarius. That's what it's all about. Science meets spirit. And that's what's going to help us grow, spirit, things having to do with consciousness, of emotional intelligence, intuition, the hidden, the unknown coming to light. So, I'm rambling on, and this is really fun. I don't know what I've not done a video like this before, so if you're here with me, thanks for being here. And this is already really fun for me, but yeah, if you notice that I'm like squinting and being weird and not looking at the camera, my eyes just want to be closed right now. I'm so like bloated right now. My face is so swollen. And I put on this like crazy amount of makeup because it made me feel good. So I did. But like I'm like squinty because my eyes just want to be shut. But whatever. This is where we at this morning, and that's where we're gonna be. Let's get into this read now, okay? Give us a collective energy, please. Help us to understand the collective energy this go around for this transit. 3 cards. Okay. Apocalypse. 2 more. The Heart. This is already like insane to me. 1 more card for the collective overall energy, please. Guys. What? How'd that happen? The River. Okay. That's kind of wild. Wow. Okay. I'm not going to put that back in the box. I'll just leave that out and keep going. All right. So, I mean, this is basically just reflecting everything we just talked about, right? That Apocalypse card is scary, but basically, to me, that just echoes this idea of like, it's like the Death card, but for the collective, right? Especially since this is a collective reading on that level. Apocalypse. I've had psychedelic therapy before. I've been lucky enough to have that, and like this almost looks like a psychedelic trip in some sorts, where it's like you have that kind of reality bending. Anyone who's done that before understands what I mean with this like reality bending kind of churning of what feels like the churning of the ether that you're a part of, in this sense of central intelligence, a connectedness to everything that we collectively know. We're all in this as kind of the same thing. And that's kind of the way I like to look about the reality of nature in general, is that, you know, it's all just a giant fractal. It functions off the same function, and then all the rest of us are bits and pieces of this giant fractal. We all function off of this giant, bigger thing, but we all have these like sub-functions, I guess, that these sub-functions ultimately make up this thing that knows. I feel compelled to talk about that. I've been thinking about this a lot recently. Anyway, I have this book called The Wisdom of Crowds. It's over there on my bookshelf. It's by James Surowiecki, I believe is how you say his name. But it's all about how the collective knows. He starts out the book by like talking about the Challenger explosion, and about how when the Challenger exploded. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Parallels to the astrology. I'll get back to that. My brain's jumping around. But when the Challenger exploded, all the stocks that, for like all the companies that worked on the Challenger, like all went down. No one knew why it had happened, or it hadn't been investigated yet, right? But like immediately after, the stocks crashed. Well, within the next short bit, like really short space of time, all the stocks for all the companies that helped on the Challenger went back up except for one. This was before we could have even known that it was the company that produced the O-ring that was faulty that caused the Challenger explosion. No one knew that. No individual person could have known that because it hadn't even been investigated yet. But still somehow the collective seems to know the answers. It's like this unhidden sort of mind. I mean, this hidden mind of ours that we share together. this knowing. And that's kind of what this is shouting out to me. Apocalypsis. Some kind of event that brings the collective into knowing together. Individuals into the collective mind. And that could be on the scale of just like even groups of friends. It could also be, like I said, on this collective level. And just that we are collectively recognizing themes even, right? These themes around psychosomatic illness or health and healing. That connection too with like the Challenger explosion. I didn't even mean to bring that up. That's just the way that the book starts out. But like, interesting theme for this transit because I'm going to just start spouting out all the things I'm thinking about with this because it's just kind of coming up. But the Challenger, that was about exploring the world outside of our world, right? Getting off of our world and learning more about the laws of nature and, other things. But it was a rocket ship, something, a physical thing that is supposed to go away from the world, the planet, right? An explosion there. A sense of being blocked from seeing the more spiritual things and understanding things that could really, really help us in that regard because of a faulty earthly structure. This could be institutions, the things that we've built that are like faulty institutions. That's what this Age of Aquarius is about, fixing up. We're trying to take off, but we're being prevented. We're preventing ourselves, and we're about to find out. The collective knows, and this is about bringing it up to our attention so we can really try and figure this stuff out. You have these themes in here too with the heart, right? This is kind of what we were just talking about with like, the heart is like feeling, right? When people talk about feeling with their heart, they like feel you can love and feel and emote with your mind, and that's really logical. Swords when in tarot energy, really like being logical about things and using that process. But the heart itself is more about just totally feeling. It doesn't necessarily have to be logical. You don't have to make total sense of it at first, is what I'm kind of getting with this. It might not be something that makes sense at first. This collective might know, but individually it might feel really chaotic. And something that we have to explore with our hearts, allow ourselves to feel. We started this off with that little bit on feeling helpless, right? These might be things that make us feel helpless, especially with Chiron being in the mix. Chiron is not easy, right? It might be the thing that you have experience with. And it might be the thing that you are good at helping others through that experience with. That doesn't make it an easy thing, right? It's the difficulty that it's been in someone's life or in the collective's world that allows it to be such a good healer. The difficulty is what has made it so good at that. The collective is kind of difficult. It's not so great at doing this feeling thing without trying to make sense logically of everything at this point. I'm noticing a nebula. Not a nebula. Is that a nebula? Yes. A nebula in this card, which is like a nurse. They call them the nursery, a stellar nursery where stars are born. Maybe that's even a supernova. That's not a nebula. That's not a nebula. Nebulas are like gaseous clouds of matter that create stars. That's actually a supernova. So again, with this theme of explosion. Supernova, though, create nebula, which are these stellar nurseries. So again, with this Chiron kind of energy of something bad, something ready to burst, something bursting apart, but it's that bursting apart that creates the matter for which stars to be born, new sources of light to come together. Emotionally, on a feeling level, something that will help us to identify collectively, potentially as more loving creatures if we allow it to. The other thing I'm noticing is two people on a boat on this card, on what looks like a body of water, right? Obviously very emotional. Taking this ride with another, right? Okay. I'm just going to move on and get a move on with the next one. Then this river, obviously we already just talked about that, but water being emotion, river being free-flowing emotion. How healthy is this river? We're going to get a look at it. So, very cool that we got those cards, I think. Tell us, please, about this energy, collective energy with this transit. I'm going to do 5 cards, please. Tell us about this Chiron, Jupiter, Venus conjunction with this full moon in Virgo on the Pisces, Virgo axis. I don't know if this came out right side up or upside down. The 9 of Swords is being up in your head. Something happens that's keeping you up at night. It's on your mind. It's taking up all your brain space. It's grief and worry, anxiety, right? What we talked about. A feeling of helplessness. What do you do when you feel like you can't help yourself through a situation? You just worry about it. Especially if it feels big. Especially if it's apocalypse energy, right? Got the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Give us 3 more cards on this. And I'll look at it. 3 in a row, please. Okay. We've got Knight of Swords. Eight of Pentacles. And 5 of Pentacles. In reverse, which is a good thing. Okay, like I've told anyone else, I'm still learning tarot, like the actual cards about it. I'm going to read this like both, I'm like try to just channel intuitively. I can't even talk right now. But also I'm going to probably look at some of the meanings that the book has to say, because I don't think, I think sometimes that's really synchronistic too, what the booklet actually has to say about it. Plus, I'm still learning, so you can learn with me. Okay, we have the 9 of Swords. Couldn't tell if it was in reverse or upright, so I'm going to read the thing for both. That seems like it might be relevant actually that way. Let's see, 9 of Swords. Upright, it means that you are being weighed down by dark thoughts and disturbing feelings. Boy, howdy. Worry, despair, and anxiety are keeping you up at night. I went to bed at 7 a.m. I shouldn't admit that. Anyway, the more you associate with your fears, the more they will rule your life. Reach out for help. Okay? In the reverse, it says, you are experiencing deep inner turmoil as a result of your thoughts and mindset. Fear is stripping you of your life force. Get a reality check and evaluate which fears are warranted and which are not, releasing your limiting beliefs, crippling fears, and self-doubt. All right. Getting help. Experiencing oh gosh. What I'm getting here is at least maybe a sort of debilitating, a sense of feeling debilitated by grief and prevented from sleep even. That's essential for our health and well-being. I haven't slept normally in a long time, and something I've been even thinking about a lot. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles reverse. Let's look at that. This is something of value. But in a reverse position, let's see. Be cautious about accepting or making an offer related to your finances or career. This could be of anything of value, though, anything that you do value. The timing isn't right and it might not come to fruition as expected. Assess the feasibility of your idea before proceeding. To me, this means, too, that, like, you might be compelled to take quick action in making decisions that would have a bigger impact on you in your life, maybe your world around you, to try to get out of this energy, to try to do something about this energy, right? But it's something instead to really think about, because perhaps whatever is happening is something that isn't as predictable as you think. Part of why you might feel helpless and like in this energy of worry and anxiety. So just don't get so ahead of ourselves, right? To find the solution, because it might not be the solution we need, especially when you're in that state of grief and fear and you're making decisions like that. Sometimes we have to, but it's best to make those decisions out of a more sound mind. We have this Knight of Swords energy coming in. Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords. You are driven, ambitious, and willing to dive in headfirst. You are quick to take action, but sometimes is impulsive or forced. You are well educated and a confident communicator. So be in touch with the way that we still allowing ourselves to tap into our thinking, logical side, but allowing ourselves to function and do all of that based off of what we're feeling in the heart. That's what's probably going to give us the best outcome. Allow these rivers to flow, right? This is gut instinct stuff too. I'm kind of getting that. 8 of Pentacles. You leverage your determination, conscientiousness, and attention to detail to get the job done. As you do the same task over and over, you may work your way towards mastery of your craft. So by these things coming to light, it'll help us to really keep turning this Chiron energy into a healing Chiron energy, and not just like the receptive, like painful, ouch, that hurt me kind of energy. This spurs us into action, whatever this is. It causes us to have this energy, but of the Nine of Swords, but that in turn causes us to do something about it. We're very action oriented here. Really action oriented here. And we have this 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which I love, because, and it's right next to this 8 of Pentacles. We're impulsive, right, about this. You know, I'm kind of getting that this is people feeling helpless and in despair, but also this impulse to jump ahead. We want to make the right decisions and take time to make the right decisions, but this also comes at a fast pace where we're like ready. We need to jump on the solutions for this right now. Like, we need to figure out what it is that we're feeling about this, and based off of that, use our logic to go in and help and do something about it. And we're here to help people out of the cold. That's what this card is about. This is about helping ourselves out of the cold. This is a card of lack, usually in the upright, of like feeling materially out in the cold. It could be like an actual physically that people are feeling that way. This could be emotionally, like anything of value is what Pentacles is really about. It's usually associated with material things, so this could have to do with material resources for sure, but it also could, I mean, and does seem to have to do with emotional as well, as they're so tied in together. But this card in the reverse means coming out of the cold, right? It's bringing out of the cold, right? And so these energies of action taking is here to get someone out of the cold, whether that be yourself or you're helping other people do it. It's probably a combination of both, because that's what Chiron does. That's also so Venus-like, right? This is love in action. Love in action. Taking care of one another. Tell us more about this. Woo. Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Tell us more. Okay, I got more. Four of Swords in reverse. The Hermit in reverse. The Emperor. Strength. And Queen of Pentacles. Both in reverse. Let me look at this. First of all, start me off with the Page of Cups. A new creative idea or opportunity has come to you out of the blue. You are filled with dreamy aspirations about what is possible. Very Piscean. Very Piscean. Here with the fish. You are filled, yeah, this probably is a Pisces card. You may receive unexpected and pleasant surprise. Help is on the way is what comes to mind. You have Four of Swords in reverse. If you are near exhaustion or burnout, taking time out to recharge your batteries is essential. Otherwise, you will hit a wall. Go deep within and use daily meditation to calm your mind, which is also very Piscean. If you're on the Pisces Virgo axis and Virgo is taking care of the physical aspect, Pisces is taking care of the mental health kind of aspect. It's trying to take care of, take a bath and talk it out, journal it out, make art out of it, whatever it is that helps one heal mentally. Meditate on it. The Hermit in reverse, the Hermit upright is someone who is really introspective. Let me be reminded what the Hermit is in reverse. My gosh. Yes, okay, upside down. If you feel lost or confused, go within. Trust that your path will become clear when you connect with yourself on a soul level. Be careful not to get lost in a deeply spiritual path, disconnecting from the outer world. Yes, it can be so easy to be caught up in our grief, in our heart, and our emotional energy that we disconnect from the world. It becomes a mental health thing, a matter of mental crisis or healing. And so this is about trusting, right? We already talked about this energy of needing to be logical, but that has to come from a place of feeling. If we just are logical without our feeling, we end up often making the wrong choices. We try to treat the symptoms with something that are not, the physical symptoms when they're having a very psychosomatic experience. Something emotional is triggering those symptoms in the first place. So more of this meditative energy, right? And trusting, but also letting that be connected to the logical, the physical, the Virgo energy. Then you have the Emperor in here. Emperor. I just want to see what the card has to say about it. But everyone knows that the Emperor is the king of all kings. Emperor upright as you are establishing structures and foundations from which your success will grow. That is beautiful, right? You favor stability and certainty over flexibility and change. You have discipline to see your plans through. Stability and certainty over flexibility and change. And perhaps, I think that a lot of the established, this is a thought that just came to mind. A lot of the established institutions that we like to think of as hard structures, but the problem with them is that they're too flexible. That's why we see in our politics, it's a mess. You can't really predict. There's so much hypocrisy, right? It's too flexible. It says we're hard on these subjects, right? We take a hard stance on these things, but then something happens that is not in accordance to what a specific party wants or believes. And so then they bend the rules, right? This Emperor is coming in here with an energy of establishing structures and foundations from which your success will grow. Success for everyone, the collective. We could also see power struggles with those institutions and these structures that claim to be about stability and tradition and certainty, like this is what's sure and tried and true, when it's really, you know, just that flimsy thing we just talked about. And so this energy is coming in to correct that, and there might be power struggles between the two. Because some being like, no, we are the tried and true, and others being like, I just sense conflict with that. Then we have Strength in reverse and Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I'm going to read what the booklet has to say about those. I'm sorry I'm reading so much from the booklet right now, but I'm also not. It's kind of whatever. I told you we can learn together, and that's not so bad. Strength in reverse. You are powerful. You are a powerful source. You just need to connect with this inner power in a constructive way. Others may question your strength, but you are fierce inside. This could deal with a lot of conflict with the other people, and you have to rely on your own inner strength in general, even if you do have support of other people. If wild things are happening, it still really is something that you have to find the strength within to help without, right? To be stable without, and in the outer world. And you have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. You need to strike a balance between your work and family commitments so that you are not over-investing in one or the other. Ground yourself, come back to what is truly important, and honor that. These are things, balancing the work and family is very much, in some sense, balancing the energies of, the emotional, the personal and the work very, the Piscean water energy, emotions, family, river, with the Virgoan, is that the word? Earthy energy of material goods and abundance and stability, structure. Okay. Let us do 4 action cards. Steps we can take to move forward. When this situation, whatever comes up for us individually, maybe collectively, occur. These are our steps forward to dealing with this in these ways that these tarot cards are talking about. Emotionally, from a place of the heart, allowing ourselves to feel and then take that feeling and be logical about it, to clean up our collective rivers and institutions. Take care of one another. Take care of ourselves. Give us cards for that. Okay. The first one we have out is the sap of the moon plant. I rarely ever draw that one. I use this deck a lot. Okay. Second one out, Neptune. I like that. I'm curious about how Neptune is involved that day, if it is. Lead. I'll look into it. Give us one more card for this collective action taking. And Venus. Okay. You know what? I think I should do one more. Oil of vitriol. All right. Let's look at this. I have so many things on here right now. Excuse me. I'm going to start out with reading the description for the sap of the moon plant. Like I said, I don't draw that one very often. But based, like from the top of my head, this is very Piscean, dreamy energy. I think I remember this being about dreams and our, the daydreamy kind of Piscean parts of us. Okay. Yes, sap of the moon plant. Nocturnal sacred water of the unconscious. Okay. So this card is, I'm going to try to pronounce the Latin thing of this. Okay. Succus lunaria. That's what you're getting. Is an ancient substance said to be born of water, plant, and moonlight. This elixir develops in the depth of the night and is thus a metaphor for the wellspring of the unconscious. When this alchemical magic is afoot, it's all about dreams, okay? The answer you are seeking will not come from the intellect nor the opinion of others. It will surface from the depths as if rising from the ancient waters of your memory. The work is to rest, restore, and awaken your celestial senses. Doing this by pausing, releasing your grip. That's a whole sentence. I don't know why I'm reading this word. Do this by pausing and by releasing your grip. The sap of the moon plant signifies that you are in deep territory of destiny and the imagination. This is a mythic moment. The dream is waiting to show itself, but awaits your sincere invitation. Ask and rest. All will be revealed. Okay, so I'd be watching your dreams around that time, especially with Neptune being the next action card that came out, because Neptune is one of the rulers, I think, of Pisces. Neptune is very dreamy, very Piscean. You have this water drop in here in and of itself. It's got this pair of hands that are praying. Both of these cards have this really beautiful, deep bluey, purpley color. This is the mystical, the unseen. I do also really like that dreams, it's like where the logic and everything in the subconscious having to do with our feeling come together, right? Dreams seem so like not logical a lot of the time. They seem kind of ridiculous, but it's also symbolic so much of the time. And so I think, watch for your dreams around this time. You might have some really powerful insights. I think also this could apply to the collective in general. What is our collective vision? What are we collectively hoping and praying for? Does that become more clear with this transit to us individually? Our hopes individually for the collective, as well as our hopes individually for ourselves as individuals. So you have this really, really Piscean, dreamy, hopeful energy with, the unconscious coming up to reveal things to ourselves. In here with lead, which you'll see it's got Saturn. It's very Saturnian, this card. Lead is a very, very heavy element. If you've ever held lead in your hand before, you know that it's very dense. It's heavy. We have this hard line of black and white down the center. This and that, truth, untruth, just, picking apart fact from fiction. Saturn also is this really you probably already know this, but it's like the planet of correction and structure. It's like the dad smack your planet, whip your ass back into shape kind of energy. It might do it through some difficult lessons and hard means. It might be really, really strict, but it's there for your own good. This could also be looked at as like an anchoring. So it can be looked at as like a pressure on oneself that is uncomfortable, that potentially could be turned into, what I'm getting is also an anchoring energy. that you have to kind of figure out how to maneuver yourself in a way that it's not weighing you down in a negative way, but in a way that allows you to have grounding and footing, to ground this Neptune energy, taking what we dream of and hope for and bringing it into reality, down to earth. You also have Venus in here, which is one of the planets in action. I feel compelled to read what the artist has to say in this deck about Venus. Let's look at it. Wrong. Wrong book. I have two of this artist. Kim Krantz's books and decks with me on the table right now. Archetypes Guide, the Archetypes deck and the Alchemy deck, okay? We're reading right now from the Alchemy deck. Venus, okay? Pleasure, eros, beauty. With the arrival of Venus, the senses open as if for the first time. It is the planet of pleasure, of touch, of sensual delights. Venus is often depicted as romance or eroticism between people, but it can also be experienced as an all-out love affair with Mother Nature herself. Aphrodite emerging from the ocean is a classic example of Venus imagery, as Aphrodite emerging from the ocean, more water, as Cupid with his bow. No matter how old or jaded you are, when this card appears, it's a sign that attraction is at an all-time high. The laboratory is alight with love. You may be in love with the work and with the materials and with another person or with the world itself. Could be all of the above. Maybe joy and pain is coming. Dreaming and grounding is coming from all of this with this Chiron energy. Seeing beauty in small moments is a sign Venus is in balance. An obligatory reminder that pleasure and pain are usually found intertwined, which is what this is all about, man. Pleasure and pain, the alchemy of it, grounding that pleasurable, love-seeking, love-giving energy with this, and taking that into hardship, taking that from hardship by allowing it to weigh us down in a way that is grounding to our hopes and our dreams for our futures, collectively and individually. Finally, you have this card in here with oil of vitriol. Let's look at what the deck has to say about that. I know, this is like eating the sun, right? Let's see. I'm just going to read what she has to say about it. I still just need to learn my Roman numerals. It could take 20 minutes at most, or less probably. I don't even know. It's probably the easiest thing to do, but I just haven't gotten around to getting myself to do it. I don't know why. But the more I do these videos, the more crazy I feel that I haven't done it. Let's see. We're going to find this card. Dang it. Right. Let's see. Guys. Oh, there it is. Sorry to keep you waiting. What other? Okay. Oil of vitriol. Acidity. Resentment. Purification. Okay. When the green lion appears, a great alchemical reckoning is afoot. Long-standing frustration and imbalance causes this regal creature to lash out unconsciously, consuming all in its path. Be prepared for emotional turmoil as the lion thrashes about. Don't worry, these changes are necessary for growth and for the end, and in the end will be a relief to all. Purification is the lion's aim, and it's determined to get there one way or another. When this card appears, the question must be asked, am I the green lion or the sun? The one consuming or the one being consumed? It is said that finding oneself in the mouth of the lion is a necessary moment on any spiritual path. As the discomfort passes, the sunbeams shine all the brighter. To ponder, says the artist, change is the only constant. that just really sums this all up. Accepting and taking one's willpower into account. Am I the one eating or being eaten? And allowing yourself to be both by whatever is happening around you. Allow yourself to be eaten by your emotion, right? By the event enough to allow yourself to really feel, because that will be essential when you go back to then eat the sun. Be the one that is exerting your influence and your willpower over whatever situation this is, by taking control in your life and being able to help yourself as well as those around you, by then taking this emotional energy and being logical and practical about it, exerting your influence on the world through this wisdom that comes from the energy that Chiron brings, and the love that Venus seeks, and is being amplified by this Jupiter on this Pisces spiritual and Virgo earthy axis. Earthy. This is an access. This is about accessing emotion, accessing one's power, which lies in this free-flowing river of emotion that needs to be in a space of being, healthy. What happens when your emotional river is not healthy, when it's polluted? Well, things die. It doesn't nourish as much as it pollutes other things, right? You have to clean this emotional energy up. And whatever is happening is teaching us how to do that. It'll be for our benefit, even if it's painful. I just accidentally flipped that card and it landed right back on top of this deck. So in my brain, the thing that came to mind was pick another one. What then does this apocalypsis energy turn into for us? What can we do with it? With this healing through Chiron energy? The box. I love this because this card represents getting from one stage to the next. It's like sort of breaking out of one boundary. You have this little star-looking thing at the center, right? And it's in all these boxes. And in order to get out of the confines of the first box, it has to burst through that first box, again with this term burst, into the next. And then we're at the next stage, right? It's like taking the next stair up, and then the next, and then the next. We must advance in this way. It's step by step. And this will help us break out of the box of our mental blocks and thinking, help us to think in new ways to be able to heal and advance our healing. I wrote down a few things last night that I think are really relevant to this. I've had different songs stuck in my head recently. Some of them which I haven't heard in a while. One of them I had in one of my videos already, but it's Marina and the Diamonds, You Are Not a Robot. It's like, you've been acting awful tough lately, smoking a lot of cigarettes lately, but inside you're just a little baby. I was so off tune. But then she says something about, you don't always have to be on top. Better to be hated than loved for what you're not. I can't sing this morning, but stay on tune. But I don't care. Better to be hated than loved for what you're not. You've been acting super tough when really you're feeling all these things, and it's time to let yourself feel all these things. That's what this trend is probably going to do. This apocalypse, this energy with the heart and the river and the emotion. Pisces, Virgo, you've been acting tough. But inside you're just a little baby, emotionally, who needs love and to take care of yourself and to have others take care of you. It's better to be hated than loved for what you're not. Better to be hated than loved for what you're not. Keep that in mind with whatever you're dealing with. And then, what were the other things I wrote down with this? I wrote them down on this paper. Better to be hated than love for what you're not. Let's see. I didn't write that. Come on now. Oh, they're love, oh, what you're not. I have so many unorganized thoughts on here. What were the others? I'm ridiculous, yo. Oh, here it is. Okay. Cry Me a River. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That was stuck in my head yesterday. And I wrote it down because I was like, maybe this is relevant to, like, use this. I forgot about it. Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake, and also, like, the old school Ella Fitzgerald or Etta James version. But just go on and just cry me a river. Go on and just cry me a river. Go on and just cry me a river. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. I cried a river over you. Listen to those songs. You know that they say some things are better left unsaid. I don't know all the lyrics, but maybe that's worth looking it up. Yeah. That's about, again, some of the expression in that song is like a sense of anger, right? But like I said before, anger is love coming to defend itself as I deserve better than this. I've felt and I've allowed myself to feel about this. This made me feel a certain way. Now it's your turn. Maybe it'll help you to cry, River, because clearly these things aren't flowing so well for you. Otherwise, why would you be doing what you're doing to me right now? Okay? Cry Me a River. You are not a robot. I already talked about that one. And then the other one was, oh my gosh, my friend who's a musician, Bly Valentine. Look them up. I get sick and tired of being recycled. I wish I could remember what song that is. Dang it. I get sick and tired of being recycled. I'm going to look it up and make sure that I have it in the description so you can find my friend Bly Valentine's song. It's so good. They're such a talented musician, and it's probably relevant to this read. So there's that. Yeah, that's the collective reading. I said that I was going to do an individual reading. This video is already like an hour long. But I still kind of want to do it anyway, so everyone can benefit from the collective read. And, oops, sorry, I have to turn off. I have a space heater on in here, and it's becoming an oven. And whatever. I really loved that read. And now I'm going to go through each sign and give y'all a little mini read. I'm going to do one overall energy card and 3 tarot cards and an action card and an outcome card for each sign, all right? All right. Let's start with Aries. I'm going to ask for help. I believe in that. Please help me to give Aries and all the signs here who might see this a message in dealing with their Chiron, this transit, this full moon. First of all, you know, there are plenty of astrologers out there. In the next video, next time, I'm gonna keep doing transit videos, readings like this, collectively and then individually. And when I do it in the future, I'll make sure I know what's happening by sign, what's happening for each sign as far as the actual astrology goes, just like a vague, at least, idea. I'm gonna do this anyway. Let's see. We've got, if we have Aries, it's happening in Aries, right? So this would be your first house. So this is stuff of body image. It's stuff of like self-identity, right? Self-worth. Aries. I said Aries. Right. The sun is in Pisces. Oh, which is the last sign of the zodiac. It's a finishing thing. And so this energy, this full moon is kind of like opening us up into an energetic new year. Yeah, next time I'll just spend time next time to make sure that I know what's happening by sign. But there's so many great astrologers on YouTube and everywhere that are like, do that already. I will do that also next time. But right now I'm just gonna give you a read. Whoop! All right. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna do this because that felt like not a mistake, especially since your card is about the self. And it came out also with sustainer. Shaping something, right? Shaping the self, the sustainer, in a way that's sustainable for yourself. Okay, that's your overall energy. I'm going to get 3 cards to clarify on that. Okay, 3 cards for Aries, please. 3 cards for Aries. Oh my gosh. All of your cards are swords. You got Justice, represented by this woman, queen, holding a sword. Ace of Swords. And 2 of Swords, okay? This is the self. And then I want to say the self and other. Anything outside of the self. This is, let me look at this for a second. Justice. Something is being judged and brought to justice. It's the self, the sustainer. Something needs to be cut away. Someone is holding the scales. Finding balance in a situation, balance in the self, enough to find sustainability and cutting away all those things that do not sustain but actually keep one from sustenance. Let's see. Ace of Swords energy. Let's see. You are experiencing a breakthrough and a new way of thinking. Your mind is stretched by new ideas and you are excited about putting those ideas into action. And with the 2 of Swords, this is representative of how you are facing a challenging decision, a fork in the road, but you are unsure which option to take. Look closer. There are aspects that you're not currently seeing that will help you make the right decision. You're having a breakthrough during this transit. And you might not totally be sure what path it is that you need to take to cut something away. You don't know exactly. You might be torn about what it is you need to cut and how, if you do need to cut something, what that will look like for you. I'm going to do one more clarifier on this 2 of Swords, please. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. So this is just changes the foot. It doesn't really, does that give you a lot of energy? The Wheel of Fortune. Let me see what the thing has to say about it. You're experiencing a cycle of change. The wheel is turning in your situation. And your situation is constantly evolving and shifting. What goes up must come down eventually and vice versa. One more clarifying card on that because I need to know a little bit more. Please. Knight of Wands in reverse. You may be acting impulsively, trying to accomplish everything at once. This may work in short term, but in long term you could end up burning yourself out or not achieving your goals. You need to constructively channel this build up of energy. Yes, so you feel compelled to act. Suddenly remember to tap into that emotional self. The real emotional self. What about what you're feeling is sustaining you? What isn't? What And those feelings are not sustaining you, but maybe actually acting in your detriment that you need to cut away. How do you cut at that, right? How do you hack at that? You can't just be like, I'm not going to feel this anymore. You have to decide what that looks like. I hope this resonates. Let's do our action card now for Aries, please. Action card for this scenario. Smoke. Okay, I like this. This is looking at what's going up in smoke around you. Smoke is a signifier of something being on fire. This could be the fire of passion, what's burning in your heart, and I'm getting more that this is a fire that's kind of burning you up in a way, burning you out, I'm getting. Look for where the smoke's coming from. Go in and do some introspection, and by looking at where the smoke is coming from, you can figure out how to fix the problem. My brain is going back to this challenger thing. Do your own personal investigation of what parts of you are faulty. You know, the collective knows, the grander you knows your situation, how to follow the smoke to find the issue so you can create a solution. Okay, that's your reading, Aries. I feel compelled actually to do one more card with the smoke. Mortification. Then once you find the smoke, allow what it is that needs to die and decay. Decaying also allows for growth later on in the future. It's more of that Chiron energy. This is a sort of Chiron energy, and that's something that's painful or even causes, like, you know, a death, an ending of something in your life. Allow it to decay. It might feel, I'm getting kind of like decay. It might feel heavy to allow certain parts of ourselves to die off, or people or situations, scenarios in our lives that we need to cut off, to die off. But by allowing that, we can allow ourselves to heal. Actually, kind of what I'm getting, this is kind of maybe morbid, but like, you know, it's like, in a Virgo type of way, a medical sense, like, if you have a body part that is malfunctioning, right? Like I had my gallbladder removed because it was faulty and causing me a lot of pain. And so a part of me, they had to cut out and die so that I could feel better and heal, right? We have to do that sometimes in life. So that's what you're getting. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps. We're going to move on now. Good luck on your transit on this full moon in Virgo. Okay, give us an energy for, what's the next one? Taurus, please. Sun, moon, rising. Give us an energy for sun, moon, rising, Taurus for the Virgo full moon. Overall energy, the mother. Okay. We're going to do 3 cards on that. 3 cards for Taurus. Mother energy. Ooh, for this transit, we have the Lovers in reverse. It's focusing on oneself. We've got 7 of Swords in reverse. This is imposter syndrome almost. This is like feeling like a fraud, but believing in your resources, trying to believe in oneself instead. This is very self-mothering is what it is about so far. One more. King of Swords reverse. Let me look what the deck has to say about King of Swords in reverse. Quick action has turned into impulsiveness and later regret. Look before you leap, think before you act. Your ambitious energy may be overwhelming and off-putting to others. So more of that impulsive energy with this transit. Okay, I'm going to do an action card before I round all this up and sum it all up for you. Yeah, I always said that like that. Okay, action card for Taurus, please. Ash, okay? This is similar to Aries in that Aries was looking at smoke, what was going up in smoke, actively burning. This is something that has burned and has seen its day. It is no longer what it once was. It's turned into something else entirely. Okay? This is the leftover, the remains, which are not useful in the same ways, but maybe perhaps useful in another way. Yeah, let's see. So you have the mother as your overall energy. I'm noticing in this card, you have these hands. You're holding a pearl. Oh, they're not hands. They looked like they were hands cupping. This is a pearl and a nest of eggs. Pearls take time to develop. They take, and there's a sense of, aggravation, irritation, discomfort, right? It's like a grain of sand getting stuck in your sock or whatever. That sort of energy, that over time, something that once grated on you. This is more Chiron type energy. Perhaps your Chiron is related more to mother situations in this transit, right? Maybe it has to do with your actual mother. Maybe it just has to do more with your sense of being nurtured or nurturing. With the Lovers in reverse, it seems more like mothering oneself. The Lovers in reverse is all about loving oneself, right? Going inward, and instead of focusing on the other, really spending time to go in. And with this imposter syndrome sort of card here, you have someone stocking up on swords, right? Taking all their thoughts and like kind of in this sort of body language is representative of insecurity. Looking back at this castle and insecurity, like, can I do this? Is this okay? Looking maybe for self-reassurance to move forward. And perhaps in an action that someone is taking too quickly. Perhaps you're noticing impulsivity within yourself that you know deep down is not what you need to be doing for yourself, is not positive, is not going to nurture you, but is actually doing the opposite thing. So it's time to slow down, think about it. And mother yourself. Mothers also give you oh my gosh. They're not just there to nurture you and love you, right? They're there to also guide you and like give you restrictions and like, ground your ass if you don't make the right decision for yourself. Maybe that's something that you need to do for yourself. With Ash here as the energy, as the action energy, you need to take action to Ash. I kind of want to read a little bit from this little booklet about Ash. Something that once was is not the same. Can't do the same thing with it. Let's see, let's find this. Yeah. My goodness. Revision? I don't understand Roman numerals, y'all. It'd be so... I need to stop admitting that and saying that. Okay. Ash. Memory, ancestors, the past. Perhaps this really truly does have to do with family. Ash represents itself when it is, represents what has come before it. Mother. The fire is over now, and its flames took with it all recognizable form of what was burned. Only memories and the soft gray ashen substance remain. When this card appears, look back and sift through what has occurred. You are in the realm of ancestors, past relationships, and those that have passed to another realm. Be gentle with the process as it is delicate and sacred. The Ash card asks us to tend to the true nature of endings, grief, and letting go. You may be asked to be present with others experiencing loss. When in doubt, be like Ash. It is silken, light, and easily carried by the wind. Soften into the memories and into tears. Eventually forgiveness follows and the heart travels alike. For some of you, perhaps this has to actually do with losing a mother-type figure in one way or another. And I really apologize to anyone who feels that way. Not feels that way. Anyone who's going through that. That's really, really difficult. And my heart is with you. For others of you, perhaps this is letting go of expectations too of what a mother should have been in your life, or a mother type figure, and what that actually looks like to you. You have to refigure out what mothering even is to help yourself heal. And that's what I'm getting for you, Taurus. I hope that really helps. And good luck to you. Let's get on to Gemini. Okay. Please give us an overall energy for Gemini. I should be writing the timestamps down for this. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do that. Let's see. Gemini is at 125. Okay. Gem. Okay. Overall energy for Gemini, please, for this full moon in Virgo. The healer. Okay? The healer. Let's get 3 cards on this energy, please. Seven steps to an accurate and insightful tarot reading. That could have to do... I like to look at these. Ooh, there's another astrologer I follow who considers this as a contract kind of document type of, or agreement kind of card, so I'll keep that as that. 2 more cards for Gemini. Okay, we have the Moon and the Ace of Cups in reverse. This is something hidden coming to light, perhaps having to do about a document, like of agreement. So it could be like a marriage thing. Let's read what the cards have to say. The Moon. We love the moon because it is good to us. Do you guys remember that Quiznos commercial? We love the moon. Okay, let's see. Look it up. It's on YouTube somewhere. Oh my gosh, right here. Okay. The Moon. Connect with your intuition and subconscious mind. You are experiencing the subtle forces of nature, especially the lunar cycles. Allow yourself to flow with these energies. Okay? Perfect for a full moon. It's all about healing, especially with Chiron being in there. Ace of Cups reverse. But not as much as something spoons, I think is what it says. Silly, maybe. It's important to remember to tap into your silly nature and humor during this transit. When things get really, really difficult, a lot of the time we find healing in laughter. Laughter must always be had, even in times of darkness. It will always be there. We must seek it out to heal ourselves and others. Okay, Ace of Cups in reverse. A new creative project is calling, but you are not ready to heed the call or go public with your creative pursuits. You are experiencing a flood of emotion, but you are keeping it contained or hidden from others. I'm kind of getting that this card perhaps even represents, we're talking about contracts or like written things, perhaps this means writing out how you're feeling, and whatever it is, the way that you write it out, whatever it might actually be really helpful, and even in just like helping you understand your own feelings and depollute your own river, right? But also could help other people. It could be a creative project that actually helps other people. Okay, we're gonna get an action card with this, please, for Gemini. Oh, it just came right out. Okay, we have Saturn. This is discipline. Saturn is a planet of discipline. It takes discipline to learn the lesson, to heal, right? It's repetition. It's structure. So as you maybe finding a structure in whatever it is, if it is a writing project or anything like that, finding a structure as to how to make that even happen in the first place will help you to actually achieve this and process these things. Perhaps that involves making an outline. Perhaps you can look up videos on outlines and like creating outlines for writing projects. That might be really, really helpful, even if it's just to figure out how you're feeling. Perhaps it's hard for you to do that sometimes because the moon is a thing of the hidden, right? You have to bring it to light. So this process will help you bring those things to light. I hope that resonates with you, and good luck on your transit, your full moon, and whatever it is that you might be dealing with. We're gonna go now to to Cancer, please. Give us an energy, overall energy for Cancer. Anima Mundi. Cool, I like that. We're gonna do 3 tarot cards, please, for Cancer on this energy, Anima Mundi, with this full moon in Virgo, healing transit. We've got the Empress in reverse, 10 of Pentacles, and 7 of Wands. All right. I'm going to pull out your action card before I just read through this. Give us an action card for this transit for Cancer, please. Conjunction. I love this already. Okay. So starting off right out the gate, we have Anima Mundi. This card is all about this is everything everywhere all at once energy, right? This is like the everythingness of the universe. This is, I like to call it like my absurdism card, understanding that everything really is all connected, and it's oftentimes so absurd even, but it's like putting parts and pieces together that seem unrelated, but really when you look at it, it's inseparably connected. All of it, everything is, and it's a sense of like belonging to a greater structure, that greater like fractal thing we talked about in the collective reading. So Anima Mundi is your overall energy for this transit. This is existential even, right? This is coming to terms with the feelings of existential crises even, which apocalypse this energy can do to us, right? That was in the collective reading. If you haven't watched that, I recommend it. It's for everyone. And this is your cherry on the top reading. And then you have the Empress in here in reverse. This is someone who has a lot of potential to birth new ideas, to birth something of basically create good fruit, grow good fruit and contribute it into the world, whether that's through a project, through your relationships and nurturing. As Cancer, being Cancer, you are so connected with the moon. On a full moon, you probably really feel it in one way or another, but that this is bearing fruit. I want to actually see what this card is saying. Connect with your feminine energy and be proud of what you can create when you tap into this power source. Reaffirm your beauty inside and out. Reaffirm your beauty inside and out. Maybe you can practice some really nice ritualistic things like taking a bath or doing self-care things during this transit to help you through as you are experiencing the emotions that come up during these kinds of transits and might be experiencing at this time. Then you have the 10 of Pentacles in here next to the Empress. 10 of Pentacles is an energy of abundance, of family, of security and stability. I want to see what the booklet has to say about it. You have accumulated wealth and abundance through hard work and dedication. It brings deep joy and satisfaction to share this wealth with your loved ones. You express gratitude for fulfilling your material goals and dreams. This might not be necessarily material, but anything of value. So this is with the Empress being in there, this could be sharing a sense of appreciation of beauty, a maternal sort of Venusian theme that you're sharing with other people that you are more plentiful of. Perhaps being as a Cancer, being more in tune with these energies, the maternal and like emotional, very watery elements. You have the Seven of Wands here in reverse. I'm going to look at what that means again. External pressure is weighing you down, leaving you doubting yourself or whether everything is worth it. Don't let your doubts get you. Own your position and don't censor yourself to keep others happy. So this, I'm getting sort of, is that it's connected to this Ten of Pentacles thing. This is trying to figure out how to be satisfied and joyful in the things that you already have and have achieved and have to share with others in regards to value, what you value, what is valued by others in your situation. Perhaps it seems that there's some pressure on you to defend yourself, and maybe it's about putting up boundaries so that you can take care of the self better, right? Have these self-care practices and rituals that allow you to indulge in that Venusian Empress beauty. It's something you have to protect, perhaps even within your own family environment, or perhaps it's about separating the self and self-care and beauty from the things that you feel that otherwise determine your value. That those things are two separate things, right? They are anima mundi, they are the whole, but they're also individual parts, and you have to be able to break those apart sometimes in order to really deal with them as separate values. And then understand that they do come together. They conjunct together, right? Finding the balance between the two. This card is all about finding the balance between polarities. And so this is about finding balance with self and environment and successes and what you have to contribute. Finding gratitude as well as recognizing where it is we can improve. But doing both of those is equally important, okay? That's your reading, Cancer, for this Virgo full moon. Where are we at? We're at 136. Now we're going to move to Leo. Okay? Good luck. My desk has this like weird drawer that like opens in a weird way, and it keeps doing this thing. It's so annoying. I'm just going to tape it so it doesn't do that. It's driving me nuts. Okay, let's get into this. Please give us an energy for Leo for this Virgo full moon transit. Overall energy, the self. Aries had this also, Leo. Okay. Let's get in on this energy with 3 cards from our tarot deck. This is just a short reading for every sign. On top of this collective reading we did, which I recommend you watch if you haven't. Let's see. The self. We've got Temperance. Next, we have quick tarot spread on its head. This is like contracts, writing things of a mercurial nature, learning. I'm going to keep that. Next one, we have the Fool. Okay. I'm going to do one more energy with that quick tarot spreads card in there. The High Priestess. Okay, we're going to do an action card really quick for this to sum up this energy. Action card for Leo, please. The Drowned King. Okay, I love that. Ooh, this is about, if the Drowned King is our action. Perhaps something is humbling you in your life right now. Or you feel compelled to take someone or something off of its pedestal with the Drowned King in there as your action card. Perhaps it's both. It's a card of correction, correcting oneself, recognizing that something in the self needs to change. Maybe seeing where one, the Drowned King is a card of like, the king being someone who rules and reigns. Do they do it justly or unjustly? And if they're doing it unjustly, the Drowned King is a humbling, right? It's taking the king off of his pedestal, his throne, throwing him into the emotional depths of the water, drowning him in his emotion. It's perfect for this transit. Allowing the self to be humbled through one's own emotion. With the Temperance card being in there, it's going to require patience. I'm going to see what this Temperance card actually has to say in the deck. Temperance. Oh, here it is. Okay. You are discovering how to create balance and harmony in your life. You find alignment and a sense of peace with your external surroundings. And you have the Fool in there, which is a new beginning, a new journey, flower in hand, optimism in hand. The High Priestess is also in there. You have an intuitive, you've been probably thinking about this for a while, knowing something needs to change within you, knowing something is going to have to change, and what that is on an emotional, intuitive level is something you've been probably looking into for a while. You know the answers. You know the answers is what it's saying. So you can be confident in yourself in taking these things and humbling yourself in a sense and going off on this new journey as a Fool. Really observing your emotions. We see the Temperance angel pouring from one cup into another. We could see this as pouring from the giving into the receiving. Really giving yourself attention, emotional attention, and receiving it. Giving yourself your own criticism, but in a way that is not negative, in a way that is really loving, coming from a place of loving and understanding and being like, I'm doing this for self-improvement. I want to be a better king. I want to be a better ruler. Therefore, I will drown out this old king so that I can emerge back as a more just ruler in my own life. With that Contracts card in reverse, this could mean I'm kind of getting that this could have been spurred from a text from somebody or like a message from an outside source, whether it was a text or an ad you saw or whatever it might be that made you start thinking about these things more. Like it might have been something you already had an intuitive hit about, but like something is spurring you into action because some way someone else has laid it out in words, has really made it clear to you that something here needs to change to better yourself, and you're doing that in a positive way, and I'm looking forward to that for you. That's a cool read. Yeah, good luck to you in this transit, Leo, and I'm gonna move on now to what's after Leo. What is after Leo? Libra. It's Libra. I don't know why I'm like this, okay? 142. Libra. Okay, let's do a read for Libra. Okay, we're going to do an overall energy, please, for Libra for this transit. Virgo full moon. Sun, moon, rising. This applies to sun, moon, rising, Libra. Overall energy. Libra, you get the river. This was part of our collective read. Emotions, the flowing of emotion. We're going to do 3 cards on this for you. Okay, give me 3 cards for Libra for this transit, for flowing of emotion. We've got the King of Swords in reverse, the 4 of Pentacles, and 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So, King of Pentacles is also in the collective read, in there with the river. This is impulsive action, or at least an impulse to have take impulsive action, right? Impulsive thinking. Let's see. King of Swords here in reverse. Your expression of power and authority may be misdirected. You may be indecisive and feeling stuck. Center yourself and connect with your inner power. That means getting in tune with these emotions and allowing them to flow freely. That might mean depolluting your river, and that means going in so that you can have better dealings with those around you. There's an imbalance of power here with this King of Swords in reverse. Your Four of Pentacles is in here. And that imbalance of power is coming from a place of being hurt and not having these emotions flow the way that they're meant to and supposed to in order to give life to the rest of your world the way that it's supposed to. So it's really nurture and grow, allow things to grow in a healthy way. Perhaps this could mean that the efforts that you put into the water that is and has been flowing is something that you feel that should be helping something to grow in a positive direction, but because it's so polluted, it's actually harming, poisoning your ecosystem, so to speak, the very things that you think there should be growing. And perhaps it's maybe not even getting to those things. Maybe these rivers are so polluted and clogged up with thought that has an emotion that hasn't been processed that it's actually blocking. There's like a dam that's blocking the water from actually nurturing the sources that it needs to nurture. Four of Pentacles in here. You are very financially conscious, actively saving money and watching your expenses. Be careful though, money works best when it is not in a state of flow when it is in a state of flow and exchange, not when it's being stashed away, which has to do with the river. Let it be in flow. Maybe this has to do with financial matters. Maybe that's something that comes up for you during this transit. Things having to do with financial matter related to emotional matters and those around you. Yeah, that's really interesting. And maybe it is of a financial matter, but maybe it could, like I said, can do with any material thing or even things that you value. So that could even be your own time and energy. Okay, Pentacles can deal with anything of value, whatever that means to you. Seven of Pentacles is also here. So this is growing something, right? This is where that water's going to. What is it watering and growing? What are you tending to? It's time to make sure that your water source is healthy so that whatever it is that you're trying to grow and tend to grows healthily. I'm going to give you an action card now. Give us an action card for Libra. Got antimony. This has the wildness of us, right? This is turning something that is painful. This is very Chiron, right? Turning something that is really painful into something that is beneficial. Let me see. Let me read what the artist actually has to say about this specific card again. This one, my stomach is growling if you're hearing that. Perhaps you feel starved in some way too. Starved of your own understanding of your own emotion, of feeling. I don't know. Starved. What you're trying to grow is starving or thirsting, right? Oh yeah, that's a thought too. A lot of the time our stomach growls and we think we're hungry. We feel hungry, but it's really that we're dehydrated. We need water, which I definitely need. Stay hydrated this transit, everybody. Yes, okay. Binding this card. Binding. Okay, yeah. Wildness, fierceness, and hunger. Are you kidding me? My stomach just growled. Hunger? Okay. In medieval times. Oh, and perhaps this hunger is, that term hangry. Hanger. It causes us to be crazy to people sometimes, people make jokes about being hangry and sorry I was this way to you because I'm hangry. But in this sense, you're hungered from emotional nourishment, okay? Perhaps you're preventing your own self from that Yes, let's read about this. In medieval times, antimony became known as the gray wolf of alchemy. This was due to the metalloid's unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. For these reasons, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild and free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of a hat. This is very Piscean also, in that Piscean loves to create, excuse me, I just twitched even, loves to create based off of what it's feeling. It's the artist. It's like the suffering artist archetype, right? But it also is a sign of like there's a lot of mental health associated with it. So either it's expression, healthy expression, or it comes in and turns into destructive, corrosive, as this card says, and mental health. It represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of a hat, even in your dealings with other people. The message here is clear. Channel the gray wolf's energy toward creativity. Challenge it to come out from the shadows and express itself. Embark on a creative project or adventure that's calling you rather than focusing on why you can't. Once you begin, don't quit. The gray wolf responds to respect, not repression. I'm getting to that, like, if it's difficult, you find that it's difficult for you to process your emotions in a healthy way. Like, it's not easy and intuitive for you to necessarily do. Perhaps there's a means or a vehicle through which you can create a river for this to flow freely through. Perhaps this will come through a writing project or an artistic project of some kind. If you felt inclined to do those kinds of things in the past, pursue it this time around. Try it out this full moon if you haven't before. And if you have, like, just, yeah, that's a recommendation. Channel this energy into a creative project. Otherwise, it could come out in your relationships or in the world around you in a corrosive manner. Don't want that, all right? Clear up that river. Thanks for coming to this, Libra. I hope you enjoyed the read, and I hope that this helps you in life during this transit with whatever you're dealing with, moving forward, right? Okay, cool. Let's go to, what time is it? I can't believe this video is this long. Wow. Okay, 1:52. That's Virgo. We're in Virgo now. Yes. Virgo. I don't know, my brain. I've been looking at astrology and studying it in depth for like months and months now. Like, the kind of like, I have been obsessed with it, and for some reason my brain doesn't even want to hold on to like chronological order still even. I don't understand that, but whatever, it's fine. You might find during this transit with Pisces being so cerebrally ethereal and daydreamy that perhaps your thinking is a bit cloudy in some ways. Maybe that applies to you, Virgo. Maybe that's a collective thing. But anyway, let's get to it, Virgo. Can we get a collective energy, an overall energy for Virgo, for the Virgo moon, full moon transit, please? Getting this card. Yes, the storm. I was doing one of them for each, but I also got this one, the fault line. Okay. That's an interesting overall energy. So the storm and the fault line, right off the bat, I'm noticing that they have a similar pattern going on. They both kind of look like lightning bolts. The lightning bolt looks like the fault line looks like the lightning bolt. The fault line is representative of places in life where the ground has been shook before, right? Also has formed a landscape for which we build on, right? That's where the fault line is. This pain is very Chiron, right? Pain in the past that has created a foundation for us to build on, in a sense. That it was painful, part of the process. And the storm, which is a transiting thing, something that's happening now. Storms come and go. And it's more in our atmosphere and environment. So it's like more of a happening now sort of event, perhaps, emotionally, and perhaps even dealing with physical matters. So this is very Chiron, right? Something that's happening now is playing off of some crack in our foundation in the past that is also created, not necessarily in a terrible way, but it created our landscape too, maybe in a painful way, but created our landscape for our current world. Can we get 3 cards on this energy for Virgo? Okay, right out the gate we have the Emperor. 2 more cards for Virgo. These 2. Okay, we have the Hermit flipped over, and the Knight of Swords. This one keeps coming out. This is impulsive energy that maybe needs to think it through a little bit before it takes action. That's why you have the Hermit here. This is going in and not paying attention as much to those voices around you, what they have to say. This is really going in. Let me see what the book again has to say about the Hermit in reverse. I probably even did that same thing in this read, but my brain is foggy like that right now. If you feel lost or confused, go within. Lost or confused, go within. Trust that your path will become clear when you connect with yourself on a soul level. Be careful not to get lost in a deeply spiritual path, disconnecting from the outer world. Go in to your feelings, but still stay here with the Swords energy of logic. But make sure that you only act on this logic after you've gone in and felt long enough, not to dwell there, but long enough to really process it. You don't want to dwell in the storm. You want to go back inside where there's shelter and protection. Simultaneously with this fault line being here, and this is caused by earthquake, so perhaps this even is like an energy of leaving. It's leaving and coming back into, right? You don't want to stay under a structure during an earthquake, during a hard event. So if something around you is happening that is dangerous or is threatening to you on any level, whether it be emotionally or physically, threatening to you or anyone else, leave. Let the situation blow over before you go back then to seek out shelter from the storm, which is, rain coming from the sky. It's allowing yourself to be covered and filled with emotion, right? Dwelling in that for a minute, even if it's painful, it'll probably be painful. But leave the situation long enough to allow yourself to feel the emotion, process it long enough to then take action on it. Go back. And this is where your power is, right? I want to see what this has to say about the Emperor. Emperor. This is really interesting to me. It's kind of wild. Really wild. If this plays out in a way in my life that I sort of think it could, I'll let you know. But anyway, I don't know. Back to you. Emperor, please. I've been getting this for another thing for Virgo. Okay, let's see. You are establishing structures and foundations from which your success will grow. You favor stability and certainty over flexibility and change. You have the discipline to see your plans through. So whatever is happening right now is ultimately setting you up to be in this Emperor energy. And you need to exercise this Emperor energy that you already have within you now. Recognize that within yourself to take these action steps, because it might be a really difficult situation and you might have to practice this kind of energy to really start to fully embrace it. Starting more now it'll like be accelerated with this event, if this is an event happening for you. Yeah, if you resonate with that. Why did I put that away? I need to give you an action card. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me give you an action card, Virgo. I can't believe this video is this long. It's crazy. Okay, action card for Virgo. This is so strange because it's only after starting like reading this and being like, this sounds familiar to another thing that has to do with Virgo and my chart. Anyway, ooh. It's very similar to reads I've seen recently, unintentionally. So anyway, so calcification is your action card. Calcification is allowing something to burn so that one thing can become another thing. Let me see what that artist actually has to say about calcification. Calcification. All right. Heat, fire, desire. Calcinatio is a great alchemical operation of fire. It occurs when there is enough heat in the vessel to transform the nature of that which is solid or fixed. How does calcinatio begin? With a tiny glimmer, an urge, a desire that builds into a robust flame. On a psychic level, this stage may be an uprising of emotion that has been repressed or dismissed. I almost said physical. So this could go back to this Piscean Virgo axis theme of psychosomatic energy, right? Like maybe it as manifesting physically because it has been on a psychic level, been an uprising of emotion that has been repressed or dismissed. Okay? It wants something big to change, to be brought to the light and purified. Lots of purification in this. With a collective read too, perhaps a flawed ideology, institution, or outlook. Frustration or anger are wondrous change makers if their heat is channeled with space and time, right? Leaving the situation, letting it process, go back to then deal with it with an emperor energy. And awareness. The transformation that occurs from calcinatio is rarely harmonious. It requires commitment and willingness to sit through discomfort as old patterns fall into the ashes. The flame initiates sacred change and eventually the phoenix rises. Okay? I like your reading. Good luck to you and whatever it is that you're dealing with. I hope that you have what you need to take care of your situation. And I believe in this emperor energy in you. And I hope that you do too. Good luck with what you're dealing with. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on now to 202. What comes after? I feel so ridiculous right now. Imposter syndrome, right? I know that working through imposter syndrome means just like doing it anyway, and that's like how you learn. So I'm not gonna feel bad about learning, and maybe that applies to you, Virgo, Sagittarius. No. Scorpio. We have Scorpio. Okay? 202. Scorpio. All right, let's do an overall energy for you, Scorpio, for this that just popped out. I'm just gonna take that for this full moon Virgo. All right, here we go. The bridge is your overall energy. Overall energy for this. I'm going to do one more card for you too. Overall energy with the bridge for Scorpio. The village. Okay. Oh, interesting. Cool. Give us 3 cards, please, on this energy with the bridge and the village for this transit at this time. For Scorpio. 3 cards. 5 of Wands in reverse. Behind it we have the 9 of Cups. And the Hermit in reverse. We're going to do an action energy quickly before I sum this up. Action card for Scorpio for this Virgo full moon, please. Synchronicity. Okay. I want one more on that. One more action card. 10? 10. Okay. I'm getting a phone call. I'm going to pause this. I have to take a break anyway. BRB, Scorpio. This will be good. All right, Virgo. Scorpio. Scorpio. I'm back. And I know for you, I never left. So this is awkward. Anyway, getting back into your reading. With the bridge in the village there, immediately in my brain. Perhaps some of this transit for you with this Chiron thing is bringing to light issues with your village, whether that's your friend group, your community, maybe it's a religious organization, perhaps it's even just like your family. This is about building a bridge with them in regards to and having to do with the pain that you might have dealt with those situations, right? With the Five of Wands in reverse, this is a card of conflict, but this is mental, this is internal conflict. I'm kind of getting that this is internal conflict having to do with outside conflict, taking into consideration all the things that people have said to you that might have hurt you in the past, that maybe you had to decide whether it really resonates with you or not. And perhaps whatever's going on right now, it has you up in your head about these relationships, what people have said to you, criticized you, your ideals, beliefs. Perhaps this, even if it has to do with, I don't know why my brain keeps going to like religious beliefs, but a lot of the time when dealing with family or groups and community with the village, it's ideals, right? And you're in inner conflict in a sense. You're trying to sort through what's your belief and what is others, and what is true to you, what isn't, what resonates, what doesn't. With the Nine of Cups being here, this is satisfaction in the world around you. Perhaps you've built after leaving this village, right? By journeying away from the village, which is kind of what this card is about, from what you know and understand to be the world. You leave those kinds of ideals and that kind of scenery to go off into your own world, and you're happy with what you've built and found out for yourself, you've made for yourself. You look around and you're like, no, after doing some introspection on this stuff that once bothered me, I'm seeing that I actually am really happy with where I'm at in that regard. And perhaps there's still pain, perhaps there's still people around you that still insist it should be different. And this has got you up in your mind again with this, and trying to like not necessarily reconsider these things. You've already come to terms with it and like what you want and what you are satisfied with now. It's more a matter of figuring out how to have better relationships with those people around you who have conflicting ideals and are even telling you you need to be different, right? Maybe that involves putting up boundaries. And so you're going inside and not allowing what other people say to you to like affect you and your outcome. You're allowing yourself to be joyful in your situation, what you've built for yourself, discovered, and what you know for yourself to be true. And you're going to dwell there, but not too much to be out of touch with reality still, right? Like still allowing other people to have their own opinions, just like you want them to allow you to have yours. Okay? There has to be mutual respect. Even if there is a difference in opinions and beliefs, we can't dwell on that all the time. We have to allow for our difference. If you were here for the collective reading, the variation of thought within the group is what truly allows the group to know, right? The group is way smarter than even the brightest genius, the most experienced genius in whatever it is that the group is thinking about, because the idiots are in there. The idiots have a different way of thinking of things. Maybe I shouldn't be using the word idiot because we're talking about people that you probably love and care for or whatever, but what I mean is someone who thinks really, really differently and has a different approach to a solution because of their upbringing in their own particular circumstance. And so that might help you build that bridge, thinking of it that way, right? We have different approaches. Sometimes it's the people who are really, really inexperienced that have really, really good but maybe that's not true for you in your life. But But by respecting, like, yes, just like I have my own way of coming at this, they have their own way, and I have to respect that even if I disagree. And just like I want them to do that for me. Your action cards here are synchronicity, understanding and seeing the synchronicities around you. Observe that around this time. You might find it in your dreams. With the collective read, we had dreams pop up a lot, right? And with this Piscean energy, you might see a lot of symbolism and synchronicity in your dreams having to do with the subject for you and the healing. And then you have tin here. This tin is a really light metal. It sort of is flimsy, kind of bends and buckles under pressure. It also is loud. And so maybe something during this transit is causing you to be more vocal about what you believe and where you stand. And because tin is such a malleable, bendable metal, perhaps it's your duty to, perhaps the subject can be pretty touchy for yourself. So it's about setting up boundaries with this village, with these people, and being like, it's also really reflective, I'm kind of getting. So it kind of acts as a mirror in some ways. So yeah, you have the rainbow coming off of this light, off of this tin, reflective, and you have a rainbow from one hand to another with this bridge. So it's reflecting back on, it's really easy sometimes to be hypocritical. Take one thing and not like what someone is doing, and then do that in turn as sort of a defense, right? So it's about seeing your own reflection in the village and then reflecting it back to them and being like, this is what I need from you. If you want this from me, this is an agreement we can find and land upon to build this bridge. And that's your reading, Scorpio. I hope you have a great transit. I hope it's really healing for you. Yeah. All right. Let's go to Sagittarius at 211. Okay. Let's do this for you, Sagittarius. We're going to get an overall energy, please, for the sign of Sagittarius for this Virgo full moon, please. Oh, there it is. This was a few cards. We're going to read them all together, okay? We have the Chiron, I don't know. I hope this resonates. Right off the bat, I'm kind of getting that you have a Chiron wound relating to a siren type energy. Perhaps you are the siren. People look at you as a siren and you have some wounding and Chiron wounds based off of people lusting off of you or chasing after you in a way, and you didn't even ask for that. And so when you revolt against it, it backfires. It's almost like people look at you as like a harmful, evil thing, which is not really great verbiage, but like sometimes can feel that way. Perhaps it's that, maybe, and maybe you do or don't like this energy, but perhaps it has to do with that and like being picked out as like this target, almost in a more Martian sexual physical type ways. People seek after your beauty and then it goes awry, right? But also it could have to do, the other thought for some of you, it could have to do with the whole archetype of the siren affecting you in your life. Perhaps that's a parent that hadn't, this is like getting into weird stuff, but maybe it's a parent that had an affair that was really impactful, an affair in one's life in some way or another. Okay, that's part of it, I think. And then you have the forest here. This is, I always think forest for the trees. Immediately I'm getting dwelling in the shadows. But the shadows is also, it's mysterious, but it's also like a sense of protection. What's coming to mind? And then the poet. the poet, taking one thing and comparing it, likening it to another thing, seeing the similarities in things enough to see the beauty. The poet creates beauty out of piecing together the parts and pieces. So between the siren, the forest, and the poet, that's interesting. I'm going to draw the rest of this really quick before I continue on that. Where did I put... Oh. Okay. 3 cards, please, for Sagittarius on this energy. Okay, we have the 3 of Wands in reverse. Another 5 of Swords. One after that, the Sun in reverse. Okay. And then an action card, please, for Sagittarius, for the Virgo full moon, for this situation. Ash, another sign got this. Can't remember which one. Ash. Okay. Something that once was isn't anymore. It's time to use that. With the 3 of Wands in reverse, I'm going to look at what the deck actually has to say about that specific card. I'm learning. You can learn with me. You are playing it safe, but limiting your growth and potential by doing so. What's holding you back? It's time to spread your wings and fly. You have birds here, up there. Spread your wings and fly. Holding yourself back, I was thinking the safety and the mystery, the darkness of this forest. Perhaps you feel compelled toward embodying a siren type energy. You want to be recognized for your beauty and what you have to say, even for what you look like. Perhaps there is a sort of sexual passion in you which wants to be expressed. And that can be sexual, but it can also be associated with any Martian theme. But also has a lot, it seems, to do with emotion, because this is the siren is part fish, right? It lives underwater. It's an emotional being. And it uses its song to, in ways, manipulate, not necessarily always in a bad way, even unintentionally, right? If the siren just opens its mouth and sings, it doesn't matter what the intention of the siren had, like what the intention actually is. A sailor is still going to hear that and be drawn to it. Perhaps you relate to that siren energy in one way or another, whether you want to identify with it or it's sort of been like a Chiron type wound. Perhaps it's a mix of the both, right? Maybe it's something you kind of like about yourself, but it also has caused you a lot of pain also. 3 of Wands. Gosh, where did I just leave that? 3 of Wands in reverse. You are playing it safe, but by limiting your growth and potential by doing so. So you're playing it safe and not opening your mouth and allowing yourself to be this siren. It's better to live in the mystery than to try to draw someone in with your song, even if that's what you feel compelled to do emotionally, even, right? Like you were desiring to connect in those ways and bring someone into your emotional world. But instead, that feels like a really dangerous thing. You don't want to hurt the other person. And you also don't want to be hurt by the situation either. And so instead of opening your mouth, you prefer to stay in the safety and the mystery of this forest. Playing it safe. But that's limiting your growth. Because eventually it's got to be day again. Because the daytime, the sunlight is what helps the forest actually grow. okay? The Poet is about turning these hard Chiron wounds on this theme and likening it to something else. Perhaps it's poetry that actually helps you, like writing poetry or reading poetry could actually help you understand this better. Maybe themes of love poetry. I'm thinking about Pablo Neruda. I would look into Pablo Neruda. Maybe even exploring erotic type poetry, if that's something that appeals to you, it could possibly be really healing to you. Perhaps you need to heal sexual type wounds, lustful wounds, in order to be more in tune with your own emotions, right? Perhaps you've experienced pain in those places that have prevented you from even feeling in the first place. So playing it safe is no longer the option. You'll have to tap into those emotions and be able to sing your song and indulge in the poetry of it, right? 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords, 5 of Swords. I can't believe that this video is this long. Crazy. 5 of Swords. You have been engaged in a win-lose conflict. Trust has been broken and you feel that you are acting in competition with others rather than in collaboration. Look to seek common ground and forgiveness and move forward. This looks like it could have to do with an affair of some kind, right? Only you know what that means. But you should know that your feelings are valid, and this is coming from an emotional place, a place of emotional need. And it's your task to go in and see the ash. I'm going to read this card from the deck too, from this booklet, to make sense of it all so that you can heal. Move on from the situation if you need to, or forgive or be forgiven in this situation. Is a wild task in situations like this, but is needed, right? Part of this Chiron energy for you. Okay, Ash. I'm gonna read this again. I already read this once, but my brain doesn't work this way. So memory, ancestors in the past. Anyway. Ash represents what has come before it. The fire is over now and its flames took with it all recognizable form of what was burned. Only memories and the soft gray ashen substance remain. When this card appears, look back and sift through what has occurred. You are in the realm of ancestors, past relationships, and those that have passed to another realm. Be gentle with the process as it is delicate and sacred. The Ash card asks us to tend to the true nature of the endings, grief, and letting go. I'm kind of getting here too that this could have to do with generational trauma. Perhaps this doesn't even belong to you, and you have this kind of complex based on what happened to someone you know in your family, and this was passed on to you. Different ideals or beliefs or whatever based on stories that you grew up with, or even just energy being passed on, having to do with an affair or lustful activity. Related to emotional matters, and is something that you now have to deal with. Maybe this actually is you that has experienced these things yourself. You may be asked to be present with others experiencing loss. When in doubt, be like ash. It is silken, light, easily carried by the wind. Soften into memories and into tears. Eventually, forgiveness follows and the heart travels alight. And I think that's a good way to end that little reading for you, Libra. Good luck to you in this transit and whatever it is that you're dealing with. I hope that you find healing and direction and ways to heal yourself, and you will be able to heal others in this situation as you move forward with these solutions and work on yourself in this way. Have faith in yourself that you can do it. It might take time to change your thinking. It might, healing takes time for things to actually settle in. But I believe that you will be able to do this, and I hope that for you. Let's get on to, that was Sagittarius, by the way. I'm sorry I said Libra. Maybe this applies to Librans too. That's interesting. Yeah, but good luck to you, Sagittarius. And now we're going to go to Capricorn. It is 224 Cap. Okay. We're going to try to keep these faster, but I also think that probably you get what you need here, right? Like maybe certain signs need a little more elaborating than others at this time. Intuitively, you will know what this is about. Capricorn, let's get into it. Give us an overall energy for Capricorn, please, for this full moon in Virgo. The One. I really like that. I want one more card for this, please. The Destroyer. Cool. I actually look at that. That's a cool card, especially with this. The One. I want to see what this is about, though, with more of these tarot cards. Give us 3 cards from this tarot deck, please, for Capricorn. That's energy. Okay, we've got the 9 of Cups, the 6 of Wands, and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay. And now I'd like an action card, please, for Capricorn in this energy, this scenario. All right. Alchemical Wedding. This is beautiful. This is cool. I like this reading already a lot. Right off the bat, I'm getting with the One and the Destroyer. This is about perhaps, I didn't mean to go this way in my brain, but I want to say the word codependency for some. The One seeing a relationship as us being an inseparable thing, one from another, right? And relationships are supposed to be that. They're supposed to be one, but they're also still simultaneously two. They are an alchemical wedding. This is where two come together to form the one. You have to have both polarities. And so this one being in here with the Destroyer is separating the two polarities from each other. Perhaps this is an energy that's kind of feels a little destructive, that causes you to be like, oh yeah, I am still my own person, you are still your own person. We need to remember this and separate ourselves, understand that we are one, but we are still both one also. Where one is two and two is one, and that's where the universe begins, okay? 9 of Cups. So you look around and you see you feel satisfied with it. I don't know, I keep twitching. I get this way when I'm tired. I could be embarrassed about it, but it's also like I really can't control it, so I'm not going to be. Just bear with me, I guess. Maybe that has to do with your situation too. Perhaps you're tired. And you're not feeling that you're able to express yourself in a way, the ways that you want to. And maybe there's some kind of conflict that comes out of that. So even though you're feeling this 9 of Cups, this is about gratitude, expressing gratitude. I think a lot of the time we can see our relationships as an extension of just the self, right? As the one. And so we can be really good at forgetting to express gratitude to ourselves when we are successful in something. And then in turn, we can be that way with our partners over time too. And we can fail to express our gratitude. We can really be feeling grateful and maybe not totally be consciously aware of that. This is becoming consciously aware of all the things that we're grateful for that our partner contributes. This world we've built together, whatever it is that we're building together, the relationship itself, perhaps it's not perfect and it needs improvement, but you appreciate that you see that it can be improved, and you do feel grateful in that. It's a matter of recognizing that and expressing one's gratitude. This is a card of success and being noted, like being recognized for one's success. So again, this comes with like perhaps some event is being caused and someone's upset that they're not being recognized for the contributions they bring, and they're seeking this. And when you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, duh, I totally am grateful for that. And it's a matter of not being in your head too much about this person coming in with a destroyer type energy out of like need, a really real and valid need to be recognized for their efforts and seen as a whole other person, right? Outside of just the relationship, is what I'm getting. You have this Four of Pentacles, which talks about the free flow of energy, right? Which is a big theme in this energy in general. The flow of value and coming and outgoing, right? This is abundance, but this is allowing again for this like appreciation, gratitude, understanding that we have received a lot. I receive a lot from you, and I'm going to keep that flowing by not hoarding all that gratitude, keeping it to myself. I need to express this to you. You have this alchemical wedding here. I'm going to look at the booklet at what this has to say about the alchemical wedding card. Let's see. Okay. Ritual, celebration, uniting. All hail the alchemical wedding. The laboratory morphs into dreamlike dance floor, and all your allies, fellow alchemists, and ancestors are here to witness the celebration. What once was lost has been found. What was once denied has come fully into the alchemist's embrace. The work is often felt as serious and studious, but the alchemical wedding is a moment of levity and lightness. When this card arrives, it is of utmost importance to mark the occasion. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate your person. Celebrate the other and the oneness that you've built together, being two separate pieces, two separate ones of the one. You have come so far. Energy radiates from the uniting of the opposites and the redrawing of life's blueprint. The new form has arrived. The unknown has become known. You'll be back to your existential queries and tinkering ways in no time. The work is to revel in miracles. So show expression and love to that person. Take joy and pride in being two wholes of the one whole, and really start celebrating that more. That's the advice to you. Good luck on your transit, Capricorn, with this full moon in Virgo. And now we're going to go to 232. We're going to Aquarius. Excuse me. Man, I really did not sleep very well last night. And I'm starting to get twitchy when I talk, so good gravy with this desk right now. If I twitch while I'm talking, forgive me, it's embarrassing. Like, I'm really embarrassed by it when I get that way, but I can't control it, so. Can't control it. Tired. Let's see. Aquarius. Give us an overall energy for Aquarius and Virgo. Virgo's full moon for Aquarius, please. This transit. Got Kairos. This is divine timing. I'm going to give you one more card for that. The Maiden. Okay. We're going to get 3 cards from our tarot deck for the energy for this, please. 3 cards for Aquarius. Death in reverse. 9 of Wands. And Knight of Cups. I'm going to give you an action card. Give us an action card for this. Whoop, there it is. Quicksilver. Whoop. All right, Quicksilver is your action card. How many times will I drop it? Okay. Divine timing, the maiden. So the maiden is an energy of like childlike wonder, but also like sensual wonder. It's like young, and it's like sensual. This is a very sensual, sexual type card even. So this could have to do with things of sensual nature, of like seeking out pleasure. It could be physically like sexual, but it could also have to do with other things. This has to do with divine timing, with Kairos in the mix. You have the Death card in reverse, which let's see what the deck has to say about Death card in reverse. I'm learning, you can learn with me. Reverse, you have you are experiencing deep inner change, letting go of an aspect of yourself that is no longer serving you and making way for something greater. Do not resist change. You have 9 of Wands. Okay, even in the face of adversity and exhaustion. Did I not just say how tired I was? You stand tall and strong. You are resilient, persistent, and ready to do what it takes to get to the finish line. Keep pushing. You are so close. Don't let others get to you. Adversity and exhaustion. Perhaps in things that have to do with this maiden, like nature. Perhaps there's been a sense of like, perhaps this has to do with love in relation to physical expression, which is, you know, could be really emotional and like a discovery process for the maiden on an emotional and physical level. And you're tired. And you're waiting on this divine timing to find a love that fulfills you in these ways. And it almost feels childlike in that, like it feels like really emotionally vulnerable. And that feels even more exhausting, right? It's not just that you've been through it and you're trying to heal from past experiences or ideologies that have prevented you from having from living out that full Martian, Venusian, maiden, sexual, sensual energy that is so much power, the power of oneself and ability, like power in one's beauty, recognition of one's beauty, acceptance, and the sharing of one's beauty and power. And you feel a sense of lack in that because of this exhaustion you're feeling around the subject. You have the Knight of Cups here. Knight of Cups, Knight of Cups. You are romantic, charming, and in love with love itself. You wear your heart on your sleeve. You thrive on all things beautiful and are inspired by the many creative outlets that are available to you. I mean, sex and sensuality in and of itself is a creative outlet. Perhaps it's channeling that one way or another through an artistic or creative project. You probably already have some in mind that will help you to heal as you wait for this divine timing. It's telling you to hang on. Hang in there. And stop avoiding this change, right? Perhaps this also has to do with a recent, or maybe even it's not recent, it's just something that still hurts, whether it's recent or not, relationship that you're still having trouble accepting, that has affected your maiden energy. And perhaps you feel that it is something that is still unresolved with the divine timing in there, and you're waiting on this timing, but there is It is being divine timing. It's not something that you can control, and you know that. So your task is to be creative and try to figure out how to channel that Venusian, Martian, maiden, wondrous, childlike energy into something, because that energy has to go somewhere, right? Okay, let's go to Quicksilver. I want to see what your action card Quicksilver is about. I don't know this card as much. Let's see what the artist has to say. I don't know, I'm so ridiculous at finding these things. Oh my gosh, what is wrong with you, Sarah? Okay, Quicksilver. Slippery, mobile, Mercury. Part liquid and part metal, Quicksilver, also known as Mercury, is a mesmerizing material. Its gift is to slip between worlds. It cannot be pinned down or easily defined. Mercury came to symbolize the god Hermes in the great hermetic secrets of alchemy, always sliding away into secrecy, just beyond the alchemist's grasp. It is said that Mercury represents the transition between life and death, between science and the esoteric. It is a metal of sacred thresholds. This is very Piscean. It's the sign between life and death. It's very that transitional liminal phase. It is the metal of sacred thresholds. Shamanic practitioners of every tradition must acquire the ability to stand at the doorway between worlds. This is no feat. The Mercury card indicates the querent as a particular gift has a particular gift for such a task. This is a work of the shaman, teacher, sage, artist, and alchemist. Heed the call of Quicksilver. The sacred threshold requires your attendance. Perhaps this energy has spurred you into this creative project that is very, very almost of a spiritual nature, and making sense of the spiritual and the physical in your world and how they are aligning through this experience that you're experiencing through divine timing, and it feels divine, and you know that, which is why it's spurring this sort of reaction, Piscean reaction, a sort of intuitive, mystical reaction, where the physical is so in line with what seems so spiritual, with that intuitive nature of yours. This is trusting in that, and then utilizing that and channeling it into some creative project, whether that's writing or some way to process it for yourself, to better grasp what it is that you're feeling during this time, so that you can tap into that Chiron energy and heal. I hope that makes sense to you, Aquarius, and good luck to you in this transit. It's exciting. I like that read. Yeah. Good luck to you. And let's do it. We're going to go to 242. Good gravy. Now we're going to Pisces. All right, Pisces, it's your time. This is the sun's in your sign. Happy birthday to you. Let's do an overall energy for you for this Chiron conjunct Jupiter, conjunct Venus in Aries thing happening on the same day as this full moon in Pisces in your sign. Sorry, not in your sign, but on your axis. Full moon in Virgo on the Pisces Virgo axis. Also the day, by the way, that Saturn, I should have talked about this in the collective, but whatever. The day that Saturn moves into Pisces, your sign. This is your time. Good gravy. All right, let's talk about it. Give us an energy. I want to say that this could also be applied probably to the collective as well, but also especially to you, Pisces, as an individual. Let's get into it. Overall energy, the Village. I'm going to do one more card for that. The Bardo. All right. Let's do 3 cards for Pisces. 3 cards for Pisces, please. Okay, got the 7 of Cups. The King of Pentacles in reverse. Both of these in reverse, by the way. And the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. My roommates just got home and they're making a lot of sounds. 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Cups in reverse. King of Pentacles in reverse and Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Let's see. Give us an action card, please, for Pisces for this transit. Virgo full moon. All this shift into Pisces. Lots of Piscean action. Neptune, which is the ruler of Pisces. Let's see. Okay. I had to pause it because there was a lot going on and I want to give you your due diligence, which is needed. This is a cool reading. So with the village in Bardo, I want to tell you, Bardo, we were just talking about the liminal, right? And what Pisces is the in-between worlds. And just the most previous read with Aquarius, I'd watch that because with Saturn moving out of Aquarius and into your sign, I think it's probably really relevant to you. We talked about this liminal space. That Pisces is this liminal sign in between. It's like the spirit realm, right? It's the in-between space. It's the ending, it's the last sign of the zodiac right before Aries, with all this action happening in Aries, and from, all this action from Saturn moving from Aquarius into Pisces. This is really relevant. Here you have the village in the Bardo here. Let me read to you the Bardo. The liminal, the in-between, the transition. It is said that the Bardo is a place between this life and the next, a liminal realm through which souls pass. Envisioning this inherently mysterious space creates potential for us to rise above the concerns of this world and see our relationships through a cosmic and timeless lens. We may receive messages from those who are no longer with us or see visions of lives not yet lived. In the Bardo, there is potential to forgive the unforgivable, to say the unsaid, to see the unseen, to love the unloved, to let go of all the things that cause us pain. The Bardo suspends us in its spaciousness for just long enough to open us to higher wisdom. Its energy does not belong to the earth as we know it, but rather to the cosmic network of which we are all a single thread. Pretty fitting, especially since this is what's happening in Pisces right now. This is happening for you individually, and so you can apply all these things individually, but also it's happening for a collective, which is interesting because you have that Bardo paired here with the village. So what's happening on a collective level might be really, really impacting you on an individual. This could also have to be with your own immediate family, friends, and all that. Anything village-like to you, community-wise. This is an in-between space, right? The collective being a single thread, the seeing of the greater picture, and the in-between space. Perfect energy as we're shifting these ways. The 7 of Cups in reverse, which this to me in my brain is like, this is a card of lots of options and having to narrow them down. In my mind, this is a lot of problems. Trying to decide which ones require your attention right now. Maybe there are too many of them, and we see that on a collective level. How do we even start on this, right? We see that collectively. You probably see that individually in your life. How do I even start on anything? There are too many problems here. You need to narrow down, decide what it is that takes precedence. You will get to the other ones as time moves on. And in fact, as you work on one thing, it'll help you to work on the next thing. And it'll have this kind of compound effect as you go, is what I'm getting. King of Pentacles in reverse. This is a matter of understanding what you value and utilizing it better, right? King of Pentacles upright is someone who knows their value and their worth and has it and is able to use it to continue to grow it, sustain it. It's like a healthy way of dealing with these energies. This in reverse is this needs work. We need to figure out how to better use our resources so that we're not wasting them and channeling them into things that where they're, you know, not being utilized in the correct ways. We do see that on a collective level also. You probably are observing that in your own life. In order to tap into this abundance that is already there, it's there for everyone, it's there for you in your life. It's a matter of getting clear about how it is you need to channel this energy better, how you need to, first of all, knowing your worth, acting on that knowing of that worth, and then second of all, figuring out how to channel those in healthy ways, controlling the distribution of it and the flow of it, the rate of flow of it, who it goes to, where it goes to, right? Routing that river of resource in a sense. Then you have this Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I'm going to see what the deck has to say about it. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Be cautious about accepting or making an offer related to your finances or career. The timing isn't right and it may not come to fruition as expected. Assess the feasibility of your idea before proceeding. So on a collective level, that could mean like new solutions and stuff for problems that are proposed that are maybe not thought through and aren't really as helpful. You could have that thing happening in your own life. There are things that need to be thought through more. More of these other issues need to be taken into account, and perhaps by considering these things together in a way, you can come up with a better solution to any one single thing. And it's going to start by solving things one at a time, but it's still by taking these other things into account and consideration. Yes. With this Neptune energy as your action card, this is paying attention to your intuition. Pay attention to dreams and synchronicities happening around you, especially with this happening on the Piscean Virgo axis. And put intention out into the world too. Get clear, as I said, what it is about what you need to focus on. And then be clear about what your intention is with that focus, right? Like, I intend, first of all, to put focus onto one thing, choose a thing to focus on, and then get clear on how you're going to focus on that. My intention is to do this thing, and the outcome, right? My intention is for this outcome. That's my hope. Put that intention out there, whether that's through prayer, whatever it is that you do to put intention out there, but get clear on that. By like observing dreams and what's happening around you with synchronicities, yes, and channeling that into your intention with your intuition. Yeah. And that's your read, Pisces. Thanks for coming to the show. I'm gonna go probably take a nap and eat some food and watch a movie or something. I don't know. I need to clear my brain. I hope that you do that for yourself too. This energy can be overwhelming. There's a lot going on and you have to take breaks and rest and all that. But I really enjoy doing this. This video is almost 3 hours long now. That's insane. But really cool. And thanks to anyone who stuck around and watched any or all of it. And please like, subscribe. I will be doing more of these and I love doing it. So next time I'll be more awake, but I think that it really played into the read itself several times there. So yeah, cool. Good luck to you. Good luck to us. have hope. I believe in us. I believe in our future. I'm an Aquarius rising though, so I have a lot of Aquarius. Anyway, cool. Moving forward. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one.